I'm excited today. We get to talk to Russell Fairchild about the Eddie Wood sale. One thing I always enjoy about Russell when we see him at events is he always has such a big smile, and his laugh is contagious whenever we see him. He's always fun to be around.
Yeah, Russell's a great person. I actually grew up showing Longhorns with Russell, so we've known each other for a really long time. He was the kind of the older kid in our group that always, gave the rest of us tips or, would kind of tease the rest of us if we messed up. But, always a great help and just always willing to share what he knows about the breed with others. And Russell's actually the co-chairman of the Eddie Wood Cowtown Classic with Mr. Keith Du Bose, so that's something to note as well.
Perfect. Let's get started.
Hi, I'm Molly.
And I'm Jamie, and this is our From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast. As the owners of Hired Hand website software, we've been developing websites and creating internet marketing strategies for livestock breeders for the past 10 years.
The majority of our customers are involved in the breeding of registered animals, such as Texas Longhorns, Highland cattle, horses, and white-tailed deer, where the pedigrees are very important. The From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast examines many of the differences in raising pedigreed livestock for maximum profit. Join us and learn what we're covering today. Hi, everyone. Today we have Russell Fairchild with us. Russell is one of the co-chairmen of the Eddie Wood Cowtown Classic Registered Texas Longhorn Sale. And he also does consulting within the Longhorn industry. And do you still have Longhorns, Russell?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, so still runs his own herd as well. So welcome, and let's get started.
So Russell, the Cowtown Classic is coming up. Can you give us the exact date and location?
Yes, ma'am. It will be Saturday, January the 11th. It will be held at the John Justin Westcell Arena. That's in the Will Rogers Memorial Coliseum. It is going on in conjunction with the Fort Worth Stock Show. Our sale does start at 11 a.m. on that Saturday.
Okay. And I believe you have meetings and stuff on Friday as well?
Yes, ma'am. We are going to be at the Radisson Hotel in Fort Worth, North Fossil Creek facility for the affiliate president's meeting. Starts at 9. We have the TLBAA board meeting at 11 a.m. And then the general membership meeting for all members is at 1:30. And then that night we will be back at that facility for the Hall of Fame introduction and TLBAA special awards reception at 5 o'clock that evening. That's January the 17th on Friday.
It sounds like a full and busy day.
Yes, ma'am.
How many years has the TLBAA been holding that sale?
Well, the sale originally started out as the Premier Heifer sale in 2005, so 16 years. But in January of 2014, we changed the name to the Eddie Wood Cowtown Classic sale.
So then the host of the sale is the TLBAA, and you're one of the co-chairs. Can you tell us who else is in charge of the sale?
Yes, Keith Du Bose, who is our chairman of the board. Him and I have co-chaired this sale for 6 years now. And of course, Pam at the TLBAA office, which is the sales and events coordinator, assists us with putting this sale on.
And the auctioneer and the pedigree reader, who are you having this year?
Okay. Joel Limley is our auctioneer. He's been an auctioneer for many, many years. Does a great job for us, and we're very appreciative of him. And then this will be my second year to be the pedigree reader for the sale.
Very nice. And if people can't be at the sale, they can always tune in on Hired Hand Live as well. And one thing I guess we want everyone to know about Hired Hand Live this year is that we are now taking credit cards. So if you'd like to pay with your cards, you're more than welcome to. Just let us know.
Oh, super. We appreciate y'all providing that service. It has definitely been a benefit to the sale, as you know, because you see the statistics, but the number of people who buy through Hired Hand brings in quite a few bidders for each of the sales, so we appreciate it.
Well, good. We appreciate you having us.
Tell us about some of your consigners, Russell.
Well, some of our returners have been with us for several years. We've got Kent and Sandy Harrell, Ron and Kevin Asbill, Dr. Zach Dameron, the Strudolph Ranch, Kurt and Glenda Twining. And then we've got some new breeders this year that maybe have been in the business 3, 4, 5 years that this will be their first time to participate in this sale. We've got Phil and Lisa Baker of Fayetteville with Diamond L Ranch. We've got Cliff and Bonnie Thompson who have the Brazos Spin Ranch in Breckenridge, Texas. Another new breeder, this is the very first time to be in a sale, is Brandon Lopez of RHL Ranch. All some great consigners with some great, great animals this year.
How many consignments do you have?
We have 86 lots. Now, due to the heifer pens that we have, because we have 2 pens or 3 pens of heifers, we'll have a total of 96 animals that are selling, and that is 86 lots.
So I know that I just got my catalog in the mail about maybe a week ago with my Trails magazine, and I've been flipping through it, kind of looking. Who do you feel are some of the standout consignments in this year's sale?
Well, we've got. I just want to say, first of all, I'm just so appreciative of the consigners. They really stepped up. If you look through the catalog, the quality of cattle in this sale is excellent, and we're very appreciative of those consigners. I always tell them that send me your best, and there are many people who don't get in the sale because being that we're a part of the stock show, we have to keep the numbers limited to 90 or less is what the goal is. And, each year now it's gotten to be such a popular sale that we do have to cull some and turn some folks away, and I apologize for that. But that is a good problem to have, and it's helped us to have some really great quality animals consigned. But if you look at lot 24, I'm just going to start from the youngest going to oldest, lot 24. She's a double bred, Triple L Lucky Heifer. That's really nice, great lateral horns. Comes from a family that's well known. We've seen a lot of her sisters and mothers or her mother and her grandmother all sell over the last 4 or 5 years, and they're just a great production line. I've had a lot of questions about her. One of the hot items or hot heifers of the sales would be lot 27. That's Ringman BCB daughter. She's her name is Diamond Ring of Roses. She is consigned by Phil and Lisa Baker of Fayetteville, Texas, but a beautiful heifer. I saw her just last week in person, and she looks better than what the picture shows. Then we can go to lot 33 is a sitting bull daughter that Zach Dameron has consigned. Beautiful, complete packaged animal. I mean, got a great conformation, great udder underneath her, great lateral horns. And then lot 42, she is a brindle renegade daughter from the Twinings that a lot of people have made comments about to me. She's just a beautiful, beautiful animal, and then, of course, has a lot of horn genetics as well. Mark Hubble brought us lot 51. She's a Cowboy Check's daughter, and, one of his consignments about 2 years ago, same exact genetic cross as this heifer, was the highest-selling lot of the sale years ago. So we're always excited about the Cowboy Check's daughters he consigns. Lot 62. Now, she is an older female, usually a little bit older than what I let in the sale, but she has 83 inches of horn, and she is the dam of lot 27. So that consignment I said from Phil Lisa Baker, it was so nice. This is her dam, and she has an amazing production record, and she's very useful looking still. I think she's 12, I think what she is this year. But just if you want a guaranteed producing machine, I've studied her genetics for years and years, and with all that horn, easy to work, just beautiful. Every time you turn around, she's posing for a picture. But that's Wiregrass Rosalie, lot 62, also consigned by Phil and Lisa Baker. We have lots of brindle this year, so if you love color, there's going to be a lot of color in the sale, but we've got more brindle total packaged animals than we've ever had in the sale this year. So that's exciting because color always sells. As long as you got some more genetics, you add a lot of color, and brindle is one of those popular colors. So that is probably a few of the top standout consignments, but there's just so many to mention. I could go on and on.
That's great. At the beginning of your answer, you mentioned that this sale is popular for one of the reasons that it's held with the Fort Worth Stock Show. Maybe talk a little bit about what a lot of the Longhorn breeders do in conjunction with the sale and the stock show for those people who haven't attended before, so they kind of know what to expect.
Okay. Well, there's tons to do at the stock show. So you'll have every breed of animal you can imagine. You'll have everything like chickens and horses and all cattle and hogs and lambs, sheep there, and kids from all over counties, different breeds from all over the state come here to show. It's really like several of the breeds actually do it as a national show, or like their national show or one of the biggest shows of the year. So there's going to be livestock everywhere for you to look at. There's pet zoos. There's also the exhibit hall that you can go into. There's rodeos every night at the stock show in the brand new facility they just built at Dickey Arena. So there's a lot. Now, as for Longhorn cattle, we are going to have several days of activities going on. I mentioned the meetings and all that, the banquet. Then we've got the sale on Saturday. But then on Monday the 20th, we've got our youth show that's going to be happening at 9 a.m. It's the World Qualifying TLBT Youth Show. Then on Tuesday the 21st at 9 a.m., we're going to have our World Qualifying Open Free Show. And this is the very first year for us to ever have a free show at the stock show. And with them building the new Dickey's Arena, that has allowed them, because all of the livestock for the rodeos will be in that new facility. And so it's opened up the facilities where they used to keep all the rodeo stock. And they invited us to bring and do a free show, a non-haltered show this year. So you're going to see a lot of big steers that we've not had in the past. I mean, we've had some at halter, but anytime you offer a non-halter show, there's more big steers that people bring in. And so we're going to have a great steer show this year. And then at 5 o'clock that same day, we'll start our World Qualifying Haltered show. So there's, like I said, 5 days of full activities to be able to go and see Longhorns all that you want. And then there's many of other things there on the facilities you can enjoy as well.
Great. I know Jamie and I always really enjoy the stock show. We either go walk around the different buildings or, we've been to the rodeo before. There's just a wide variety of things to do, and the energy in Fort Worth, during it is just, I think it kind of changes the whole dynamic of the area.
Yes, ma'am. And I'll tell you that one of the things that while you're at the stock show, there's not just the stock show, there's plenty to do. Right across the street, you've got the Botanical Gardens. Right down University Street, just a few miles, you've got the Fort Worth Zoo, which is an amazing zoo. But of course, you've got to go to the stockyards while you're here. All of that strip on Exchange Street. It's our history of Fort Worth. It's also the history of Longhorn cattle. Got its start there. And there's a lot of construction going on down there right now, but they're bringing in so many new vendors and lots of new opportunities down there. And there's so many shops and lots of shopping, lots of fun things for the kids to do. But also you can see our cattle drive, the Texas Longhorn herd that's down in the stockyards does their cattle drive twice a day, every day, 11:30 and 4. So you surely can be able to fit that in while you're in town, since they offer it twice and it's every single day. It takes about 5 minutes is all it takes, but it is really, really neat to watch. You'll see some beautiful animals and all the drovers on their horseback taking them down the street. They go about 2.5, 3 blocks is all they go. But it is neat to see and a must-do while you're in Fort Worth.
Love what you're hearing? Be sure to check out our Pickup Truck Confessions. It's a video series where we hop in the truck or rental car and interview a variety of breeders about what drives their passion for their livestock, how they got started in the breed of their choice, marketing tips, and more. And now, back to the podcast. And for those of us coming from out of town, you're promising warm weather, right?
You never can promise that during the stock show. It's funny because it always seems like stock shows is when that front wants to come in, but they're saying right now that it's looking pretty decent for next week. But, in Texas, that can change every hour, but right now they're telling us it's going to be fairly nice. We'll see.
Well, good.
I want to go back and mention one thing, if y'all don't mind, and it's it's a ranch that I haven't mentioned yet, and they are a highlight, and they probably have got the top selling animal of the sale this year. It's going to be my guess, and I could be wrong, but being in this business as long as I have, El Coyote Ranch is just a special consignment to the Eddie Wood sale, and every year they end up bringing something really neat and special. And this year they have really went deep into their breeding program to get us something very special, and that's going to be lot number 83. And her name is the ECR Rhinestone Gal. Just a beautiful 9-year-old, 9.5-year-old cow that's got a lot of twist, a lot of length. She is a Sam Houston ECR daughter, which is a Hunts Command Respect son. And then on the bottom side, she goes back to Julio Vixen, which is out of Don Julio and Delta Vixen. I'm telling you, this cow doesn't have a hole that I can find in her. And of course, I always say, let me see them in person. I hadn't gotten the privilege to see her in person, but what I've seen, what I've heard, her production record is excellent. She is just a gorgeous cow. What everybody thinks of when they say Longhorn cow. So I again want to just publicly say thanks to El Coyote Ranch, which they have some roots owned by the Bass brothers here in Fort Worth. So she goes back to them, and just want to thank them for always supporting our sale with something very special.
That's awesome. It's also interesting for us to note that at this time when we're recording the podcast, maybe not by the time it airs, but the most viewed animal on Hired Hand Live is D.O. Miss
Yes.
Sundance. I believe she's lot number 74. So do you have any extra information about her that might not be in the catalog?
I don't have any extra information at this time, and she's one that I did mention, Kenton Sandy Harrell, being one of our consigners. I've got to say thank you to them because she truly is an animal that I have been asked about a lot too. Just a big body, very correct, beautiful horn set, lots of color. When I'm doing consulting work, I always talk about the total package. If you aren't breeding for the total package, you're really going to be disappointed in the future. And so if you just breed for horns, or you just breed for one color, or if you don't pay attention to the foundation, conformation, mothering abilities, udders, and that type of thing, you just are going to fail in this business. And I preach that all the time. This cow is a total package animal. And thank the Heralds for bringing us such a great consignment.
Russell, it sounds like there's a fun-filled weekend planned ahead for the Eddie Wood sale at the Cowtown Classic. Do you know if there are any rooms left at any of the accommodations that you all have suggested for people who may need to still book a room?
The last I heard, there was availability still at the Radisson North, which is where we'll be holding our meetings. That's on Meacham Street or Meacham Boulevard. They have a rate of $109, newly remodeled rooms. And then also the Spring Hill Suites Fort Worth on University is a nice hotel that if they'll say FWSSR, which stands for Fort Worth Stock Show Rodeo, they can get the attendee rate at that facility as well. So that's the two hotels that we have worked with, and the last I heard still have some rooms available.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want us to know about the sale coming up?
Bring your pocketbook and let's have a good time. Let's get 2020 started off great. This sale seems to kind of set the pattern for the year when it comes to sales and where we're going to be at. And so I've worked with Keith and Pam to put together an amazing set of animals. And so let's reward these consigners by bringing us their best and also helping the Longhorn industry as a whole by starting off on a good foot here for 2020.
Well, we hope the sale goes great, and thanks for joining us today.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me.